Hello, everyone, and welcome to part two of interview with CreepsMcPasta. Um,
Yay.
so, I'm sorry about the little inconvenience, but we are back on track now. And um, is there anything you'd like to say before we get back to the questions?
No, we just get straight back to it. It's gonna be
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Keep the ball rolling.
What are some of the best opportunities you have had because of your time as a narrator?
I honestly don't get too many. It's such a strange niche that narrators. I don't know. I don't know about others, but I haven't really been approached too much. The ones I can think of is wait, no, as a narrator, sorry, I was just thinking of something different. As a narrator, I don't know, I've just spoken with quite a few cool people that people may know. A Pink Stylist, the makeup guy who did the creepypasta people for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Creepypasta, who's Mr. Creepypasta, and just gotten to speak to a lot of people, and it's fun.
What is your dream job?
My dream job. um, what would be my dream job? My dream job would be nothing really. I've always liked the idea of not work. It's gonna sound so bad. Okay, let's rephrase that. I like the idea of enjoying time rather than working. I don't have a dream job per se, but rather I'd rather do something I enjoy because then it's not a job.
Who are your favorite creepypasta writers?
Favorite writers. I
Mm-hmm.
actually really like. I started getting into Stephen Shorter. He's the guy who wrote the. Have you heard of The Other Internet a while
Yes, I
ago?
have.
That one. I also did one recently of his. What is it called? Knocking. That's quite a clever one. That was one of those like plot twist ones where people are like, "Oh, the twist sucked," and if you don't like the twist, you're not gonna like the story. But I enjoyed the twist, so I enjoyed the story. Also other favorite writers, the Thousand Vultures, the guy who wrote Pen Pals, straight up one of the best, if not the best, series. And who else comes to name by name? Because here's the weird thing: it's so hard to pick up one particular name over others because there's so many. You very rarely repeat the same ones.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Oven Fiend. There's a guy called Oven Fiend who wrote the story to scare my son. He's another good one. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Okay. What creepypasta do you wish you had been the one to write?
Oh, the one I wish I could claim credit to.
Mm-hmm.
Russian Sleep Experiment. That one's easily one of the most iconic. And it's one of the most iconic that's held up because there's loads of old ones which people look back on, like Squidward Suicide, which was seen as lost episode, scary, Nickelodeon. Blah, blah, blah. Now people look back and go, oh geez, hyper realistic blood, really? Sunken eyes, really? But Russian Sleep Experiment is timeless. It's still liked today.
Do you plan on narrating any more of your original stories on in the future?
The ones I wrote, I actually
Mm-hmm.
have one or two set aside, but it's gonna be for a project that I've got planned. A little something I've been planning for a few months now, but yeah, that's why I haven't put anything of my own writing out in a while.
How has writing changed you and your life?
I discovered some weird things about myself with writing. I've never been able to write, strangely enough, very well. I absolutely bombed in English. It was only till I started reading that I learned how to write. It's really weird. But how it's changed is now I have an uncanny ability to see grammatical mistakes, but I still make them myself.
Why did you start writing?
Why did I start? I started for a silly reason because it's not a secret that there's in a sprinkle of good stories, there's also a lot of the not so good stories. I guess it's always subjective, but still, there's a lot of ones that people straight out are like, "No, this one sucks." And although I hate the mentality, I had a thought of, well, if you think it sucks, why don't you try do it better? So I thought, huh, Now I'm starting to see stories that I think sucks, but can I do it myself? So I gave it a go and tried writing myself, and since then I've been writing occasionally my own little stories. It was never out of spite though. It was just of just assuring to myself that I could do it myself to give myself a perspective. And now I have, in doing so, I have such a respect for authors because I didn't realize how much time and work goes into writing. And you can definitely tell when someone does put more time into it.
What is the earliest story you remember writing?
It would be my first creepypasta. I never wrote much when I was younger. In fact, I don't ever remember writing a story. So it would have to be Your Secret Admirer because, I did not really write in school. On stories, anyway. We never really did write stories.
Which
Yeah, actually,
creepypasta? Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I was
No,
going to
go
say,
ahead.
it came to mind. Yeah, we did have to write in school. It was a it had to be a childhood memory, and I copied and pasted it from the internet because I was like, I swear I had to write something in school. No, I took it from the internet, so I didn't write. Oh my gosh. Go on.
Which creepypasta are you most proud of writing?
It would have to be again Your Secret Admirer, even though I cringe at it now because of how cheesy it is. It's scary how, well, not scary, sorry, but it scares me how, not scare is the wrong word. It shocks me. There we go. It shocks me how popular it's gotten, and a lot of people are like it's my favorite, and I'm like, oh, really, you like it? It's so bad, but obviously it's me having uh creator's remorse, which I think everyone has.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to bite my tongue and say I am proud of it.
Where do you get your inspiration for writing?
I get different ones depending on the story. I remember for the missing children one, my dad told me of sort of some horror stories from his youth where they do some dodgy things and then during some rather dodgy illicit activities, you know, burning wick and magic, whatever. They saw a teddy bear and it was breathing, and they were just watching it on the chair just breathe. And that's all. That's the only horror cue I had before writing that story, and I wrote the story around it. And since then, I started picking like, okay, this is the scary point. This is a scary point. This is a scary point. How am I going to link it together with an overarching story, and emphasize those scary points? The chases and the sort of the horror cues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I pick up first. Really, I inspire the story through the horror and then build a story around it rather than the other way around, which I feel leads to less scary and more character driven stories, but you don't really care about the characters in short stories a lot of the time.
How do you feel about the erotica stories written about you?
There aren't too many. Strange enough, I haven't really seen many, but I don't really have any negative thing towards it. I let people do what they want, really. People can write whatever.
Oh, if you haven't seen them, you're just not coming across them.
People aren't sending them me. I'm not
Uh,
Googling myself enough.
yeah, because I think I've had at least 5 read to me.
5
At least
read.
5.
So that means at least 5 people have wrote something, and at least someone is reading them to you.
Actually, Murphy is the one that's been.
Oh,
Um, a lot of them are usually involving you, Mr. Creepypasta, and Junior. Like
yeah, that
yeah.
that's the usual ones. The culprits.
Um, okay. If you could make any creepypasta into a full-length porno, which one would it be?
I was reading that one before you read it. I was like, no, what would I turn into? Oh, every story would make the worst. It would. Oh my gosh. Slender Man, just because of Stiffer Man. If you remember that, that is awful.
Yes.
And that would be even worse.
That is an amazing story.
It's an amazing series, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. If you were to date any other narrator, who would it be?
If I had to date one, uh, Mr. Creepypasta. I've seen how he treats people. He'll be nice to me, I think. He'll be a good little sugar daddy to have on the side.
Hmm.
Why not?
What other narrators and writers have you met in person?
Other narrators I've met. When it comes to narrators, I've met Mr. Creepypasta, Creepypasta Junior, Miss Shadow Lovely, Miss Zombie Doll, the Dark Mander. Oh, geez, who else have I? I don't really. Thing is, here's the weird thing. Okay, before anyone gets any ideas, I never really meet narrators based on them being narrators. Though I tend to be friends with these guys. Like I'm friends with Mr. Creepypasta and Junior and Miss Shadow Lovely. So when I go across to America, I'm like, well, I'm gonna see them. Oh, Dead Josie as well. I met Dead Josie. She's a cool being. Oh, Creepy Rainbow. Uh, I met both Creepypasta Rainbows and Rainbow Creepypasta actually. Oh, the Creepy Dark. There's a lot of people actually. Strange enough, I didn't think I met that many. But yeah, a bunch of people.
How many times do you get recognized in person by your voice alone?
Never. I get asked that so much, and I'm like, why? I was once in a room with a fan saying he was looking out for me, and he did not recognize me.
Wow.
Because I don't know, I feel like it sounds totally different in person than I do in my narrations. Like even now, I probably sound different to how I talk in real life and how I talk in narrations. It depends on how I act as well, I guess.
What are your thoughts on Mr. Creepypasta showing his face?
Yes, that was a big thing recently, wasn't it? It was a shocker to a lot of people, including, funnily enough, like what I've heard was it was a shock to Creepypasta Junior, who was on stage, who apparently went down to the because he was one of the few people not told about it, and so he dropped down, picked up the mask, and sang "In the Arms of an Angel" or something like that. But I think it's really good because I tell you what, I've actually had some problems myself, and I will do in the future with something I'm trying to do with being just a dick, just going, oh, I don't show my face. Oh, people can't know who I am. It's great for online personas, but it does not work professionally. If you see his Instagram, he took a picture of him in front of Funimation. He did a voice for can't say the show, can I? He did a voice for a show for Funimation, and straight up, you can't just be like, "Yes, I'm Mr. Creepypasta." Oh, you can't see my face. Blah, blah, blah. No, I think it's really good that he's shown his face in this circumstance because this is the progression. This is what I want. You know, like I said, if I progress and move on to voice acting, I would then in turn have to do the same as him. I'd say it's an amazing progression of how much has grown in the last few years. Yeah, I'm really happy for him in that aspect.
Have you ever thought about dressing as your persona and walking around on Halloween?
No, I do finally have the costume for it all, as you may have seen in the live action. But over here, I don't know if it's my area or my country, but we do not go around dressed up in costume. We don't have Halloween decorations. We don't give out sweets. It's not a big thing over here like it is in America. It's amusing seeing Americans do all this crazy stuff. Like Mr. Creepypasta is currently trying to celebrate Halloween. It's August. He keeps reblogging skeletons on Tumblr. It's terrible. And he's a big Halloween person, but no, it's just not big over here.
How does it feel to have a chin that can cut glass?
That doesn't even make sense. Oh my gosh. People keep saying that. I don't know if it's the shading. I don't know. I don't see my own chin. I'm gonna look in the mirror. I think it looks normal. I think it looks normal. Maybe it's because it's the only part of me I show that people have to latch onto it. It's the only thing. I didn't even show my hands.
Might be. Have you ever broken a bone?
I hate it, but I have. It's not like a lot of kids when they're younger. Oh, I broke my leg, I broke my arm, fell out a tree, this and that. I caught this tiny little rugby ball funny and bent my left middle finger. And when it bent down, it was just the tip of the finger bent down. And instead of the ligament snapping from the bone, it took a bit of bone with it.
Ooh,
No, that's a good thing. If the ligament would have snapped, it would have
yeah.
took months to heal. And I was very lucky that it took the bone because bones heal a lot quicker.
Still sounds painful.
I know. My dad actually did the other one. He broke his ligament and he plays guitar. So he
Oh
straight up
no.
bought a left-handed guitar and learned to play it the other way. But miraculously, strangely enough, like even though he was told he might not have movement of the end of his finger again, he got it back and now he can play guitar both ways.
That works.
I know, it's funny, strange how things work.
Why must you be so sweet?
I don't know. I just think I don't know. I like the idea of being nice. I think being nice is like the easiest thing to do, and it's just so I don't understand why more people aren't.
Do you ever plan on having kids?
I hope they're planned. Give that one a second. I don't know, maybe in the future, but not now. I am very conscious of my future in a financial aspect. Like I'm always worried, like thinking, oh, I should work on investing first. I should work on getting a secure job because a lot of people I feel who want kids and don't think of anything else, I think I'm making a huge mistake. I mean, I've heard stories of like people so poor but they're having kids and then they feed it nothing but watered down milk and then it dies or something. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want to I can't even look after myself. As soon as I can look after myself, I think I will.
Will you ever show us a picture of your brother?
I remember, oh yeah, I mentioned in my Draw My Life that I have a twin. No, no, that's not even a trick question because I could see through the trick because he's my twin. He will look like me. Why would I ever do? So no.
Do you get along with your parents?
Do I get along with? Yeah, I think every kid is a spaff with their parents every once in a while, but I I'm actually I didn't realize how lucky I was with my parents until hearing a lot of, horror stories online of my parents are doing this, my parents won't let me do that. Like they used to not like the fact that I wasn't going out getting a job, but when I wasn't going out getting a job, I was spending, a lot of my time online just researching, just doing a lot of things. And I seem to have made something of myself without of my own accord rather than forcing me to get a job. And that I always feel like, when parents force their kids to get a job, I sometimes feel
Mhm.
that's sometimes a bad thing to do. Because if I was made to get one, I wouldn't have been able to keep up the channel wouldn't have grown, and then I wouldn't be where I am today. So I think it's their trust that I would do something with my life rather than forcing me and trying to backseat my life. So which has really helped. So we have a respect. So yeah, we do get along.
Yeah. Are you more like your mom or your dad?
Uh, I'm more like my dad, I think. My mom is more clean and look after things and hard work. My dad taught me the phrase there's people who work and there's people who make money. And he always said it was good to be the latter. So he taught me to not think intelligently, but think like, no, not intelligent. Yeah, not to think hard work, but think intelligent. And that's really what's set me up in life as well.
Okay. Have you ever been to your mother's country? And if not, do you plan on going in the future?
I yeah, I mentioned in my Draw My Life again, my mom's from the Philippines, and I have been when I was very, very young. I have no plans on going back there, but maybe in the future. But there's always natural disasters going on there. But no, it's a very nice. Oh, it's such a nice place to go to.
Where all have you traveled to?
Oh, you mean all the places I've traveled? I'm not much of a traveler. I'm very introverted. I'm on my computer desk, sitting here about 16 hours a day most days of the week. But when I do travel, I've been to America now a few times. As you know, as you can tell, because I've met a bunch of narrators there. I've traveled to London, obviously, just to see a bunch of people there. I've been to a few other little places with the family, sort of like Spain, and I visited some friends in Germany. But I'm not much of a traveler.
What do you like about the US?
What do I like? Ooh. It's a lot different than here. There's lots of bits that I do like and don't like. I'd say I like the choice of foods. There's so much emphasis on food in America. I keep saying this and I constantly will. Is a crazy fast food and eating out culture there. Like over here, I think it was most food places close within a week over here. In America, when I heard of In-N-Out Burger opening in Texas, there was queues around the corner. I never got to try In-N-Out Burger because I never got to go there. The queue was so long, we could barely drive past it. It's a completely different culture, and it's kind of nice because then I got to try, a square burger from Wendy's. Like, what? Why? Why is it square? Who knows? And I got to try iced tea, although I've tried it before, but I've never tried American iced tea, American bacon, Sonic's. Like I tried, what did I get from Sonic's now? A peanut butter and bacon milkshake on the recommendation of CreepsMcPasta Jr., who told me to get it, and it was nice.
It sounds weird.
It's weird. It was interesting. But yeah, that's one thing I did like.
What did you dislike about the US?
What did I dislike? I disliked your customs. I absolutely hate customs. I was stopped every time getting in the country, and I missed my flights. I always missed my connecting flights while being stopped. They always pull me aside to the back room. They search my luggage. They ask me questions of what I'm doing there. One time, I got pulled in 3 times. It was a nightmare. I had to, for a start, they were like, okay, follow this guy. So this guy, the security person with a gun, grabs my passport, gets me in an elevator. We go down, and I'm talking to the clerk person. They're like, "What are you doing in the country?" I'm like, "I'm doing this." "You've been here before. Why are you coming again?" I'm like, "Oh, I just want to visit people and see things and do stuff. I have spare time. I can afford it. I've saved up, And eventually, while I'm doing this, this woman comes up to me with a beagle, and the dog sniffs her bag, and she's like, "Oh, have you got anything you shouldn't have in there, like any imported food, cheese, this and that?" I was like, "No." "Oh wait, yes I do. I have a sandwich from the plane." And this is a sandwich. Bear in mind, I got it from the plane. It was the last thing they gave me. I wasn't hungry, so I put it in my bag. She took it off me and had to write something on my ticket.
Wow.
And yeah, and she wrote like, she was like, "Hand this to the person at the end. Tell them I took it off you." So I'm like, "Fine, take my sandwich. Do you want to eat it anyway?" So I eventually leave. I go around, and then once you have this piece of paper, you have to give it to a person. So I give it to him, and he starts reading it. And I know what he's doing. He's reading the cheese thing. And I say, like, "She took it." Cares of reading. She took it. Cares of reading. She took it, and he's like, "No, go around there." Points at me to go back in. So I go back in. This is the second visit. I go up to the ginger guy who's searching bags. I hand it to him. She took it. It's like, "All right, okay, just go to exit." I start walking around. No one around. Push the exit door. Whoop, 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 whoop. Security guards start running around me. I'm like, "Gosh darn it. I just want to go." So that was the third time I get dragged in there. So yeah, that was a nightmare. That was an
Wow.
absolute nightmare. And that was the time I got pulled into immigration 3 times trying to get into America. I will forever dislike the customs in your airports.
What is it like where you live?
Cold? I love where I live. I straight up love where I live. I live not far from a train station, which takes me like pretty much anywhere in the country. So if I want to go into any of the big cities, just buy a ticket. It's always cheaper to travel on your own anyway than than cars. And having a train, it's like driving you. It's like a chauffeur that's very fast and a bit rickety, a bit noisy, but it's fine. Just bring a comic book. And it's like an old, like I always say, it's like an old white people retirement town, because we barely have crime. It's just full of old people. There's nothing bad happens. Everything's scenic. Nothing's like sort of vandalized or anything. It's really nice. And I'm only a short walk from town. Everything's small. Because that was another, going back to the other question, that's something I didn't like as well, as how much you had to drive in America. Well, I couldn't walk to town or walk to a shop. Over here, I can step outside, go to Aldi and grab a pasta, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you understand many of those words, because that sounded very colloquial. But no, I can just step outside. I used to walk to Blockbusters when it was there in my pajamas, and because I worked there, and if there was, some cool managers on, just free pick and mix in a free movie. And just walk out in my pajamas back home. I loved it. It was the best. Oh, I miss Blockbusters. That's the second Blockbusters mention. Represent. uh,
Would Would you be willing to meet a fan or narrator who would like to visit you?
I could be nice and be like, yeah, of course I would, but really, probably not. I'm not good with meeting people I don't really know. Like I said before, and I'm glad I cleared it up. The narrators I have met weren't really narrators more than they were friends who were narrators. It's like so there wasn't anything weird. It wasn't no awkward silence moments. Paranormal Mango, that's another one I met. Just remembered. Anyway, yeah, it'll be hard, but maybe if there was a fan slash narrator meetup environment, maybe, but not straight up come to my house and have some tea, because that would scare the hell out of me.
Where would you like to travel to?
Some places I'd like to travel. I don't know. I could be generic and just say Japan for a start. I think everyone has that on their bucket list. Some nice places I like to travel. Canada. I really want to go to Canada. For some reason, I love the idea of Canada. Never been. Don't know too much about it. Seems really nice. Yeah, Canada and Japan. The same thing, really, Put them next to each other, you can't tell the difference.
Would you prefer to travel to the past or the future?
Oh, future. People who say they want to travel to the past forget what they would lose. You won't be able to bring your iPhone. Bloodborne wouldn't exist. You'd have an Xbox One and a copy of Spider-Man 2. It won't be good. Mind you, people probably go, no, unless it's the very far past, because I'd love to see the giant creatures that wandered the earth. Like, I saw a post about lesser known prehistoric creatures, and there was like giant lions that are like 6 foot high and megalodons, and I just want to point and go, damn, look at that thing.
What languages do you like?
I actually really like the structure of Japanese. Like, I saw some lessons on it, and it's so simple. Like when people say, "Oh, English is the most hardest language to learn," it really is. Or it's one of them anyway. People who say that don't know about Mandarin Old Chinese, but yeah, but the structure of like other languages that are more pure, if you know what I mean, because English is such a mixed pot of Latin, Irish, Welsh, German, Swedish, Norwegian, French. It's everything in one. It messes with each other. Like roach. If I said roach, you probably think of a cockroach. I could be actually talking about a fish. Why is it the same thing? I don't know, but it confuses me when I read The Witcher. But Japanese is very direct. You just say, like, you don't even say I or you. You just, if you're talking to someone, you don't have to say that. I'll just say, like fish, and you go, yeah, because I'm talking to you, and you know what I'm asking. But yeah, that's a very interesting language.
What languages do you speak?
Just English, sadly. I'd like to learn more, but it's so, like, I tried learning some. It takes a lot of dedication. It's a lot harder than you think.
What are some of the languages you would like to learn?
What would I like to? I guess again another generic answer, but Japanese. I guess even just the basics. I'd like to learn. What else? Spanish would be an interesting one, just because a lot like it's one of the most spoken languages, if not the most spoken language. It would be useful. Yeah, that would be the most useful language to learn, I reckon.
What
Or
is your
Polish. Oh, sorry.
oh, no.
I was
Polish?
gonna say, yeah, I just thought so Polish, just because that's again, like, there's a lot of Spanish speaking people in America, but not as much over here. Over here, it's a lot of Polish and Indian as well, but I like Polish.
What is your favorite genre of music?
A lot of people always ask about my music, and I have terrible taste. I like comedy music, strangely enough, like Ninja Sex Party and Lonely Island and all the silly ones. But I just like listening to music I like, and I never stick to one genre. I just type in songs.
Who is your favorite singer or band?
Oh, jeez. Favorite singer? Michael Bolton is a really good singer. So is Justin Timberlake, and also Curveball. Justin Bieber is an amazing singer. If you ever like people like yeah pop music, meh, meh, meh. No, straight up type in Justin Bieber acoustic album. The best thing you'll ever hear. If you like that kind of music, so good.
Who is your favorite classical composer or classical piece?
I like Mozart's violin, no, Beethoven's violin sonatas. They are very nice to listen to. And if you find the one, I forgot what it's called, but it's like 47 minutes long. It's a great thing to listen to when you're trying to kill time, like writing, or you don't want something with words in it, so you want to write. It's good background fodder.
What song best describes you?
Song. I don't know many songs. Go on, you choose one for me.
Huh. Um. Oh, what's it called? It's like the I don't want to work, I don't want to play, I just want to bang on my drum all day.
That's me. Okay, that's me.
Don't worry, be happy. Let it
It's the
go.
best.
Um,
Let it go. I'm a meme.
do you want to build a snowman? Um, I think that one's kind of associated with you.
Yeah, no, I'll choose that one then. That one's mine.
What song best describes your life?
I want to build a snowman. I don't even know if I got the name right.
Um, what instruments do you play?
uh, I I play. I like to play guitar, although I haven't done for a few years now. Ukulele's cool because it's like a mini guitar. I also have a kazoo. You don't need skill for it. You just need to hum into a metal tube and it makes funny noises. But yeah, I think for now that's it. I haven't really picked up an instrument in so long though.
Are you a good dancer?
No, I'm really bad. Like people, this is gonna sound racially stereotyping, but people expect me to be good because I'm Asian. I'm like, no, that's not how dancing works. I'm really, really bad.
What is your favorite anime?
Straight up Hajime no Ippo, if you've heard of it.
I think I have.
Yeah, it's the boxing one. Like it's so good because it's very different from conventional anime, which is all like I'm gonna kill you because you're evil. It's about sports. There's no real bad guy. So even though you want the protagonist to win, the other person likely has a another sub story which you're like, no, I also want you to win as well.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh jeez, I can never pick one. I can never pick one. That is one of my hardest things in movies because there's so many genres. I
Well,
can't just
name a
go.
few.
Okay, name a few. I can't even name a few. It's been a while since I've watched movies. Tokyo Zombie is hilariously amazing. It's a really random, like lesser known Japanese title, and you think it'd be horror, but no, it's a comedy. It's almost like the Japanese Shaun of the Dead, but it's got like the best life lesson you'll ever learn in it.
What is your favorite horror movie?
I, strange enough, don't watch many horror movies, but my favorite one would be it would have to be the Grudge, the Japanese one. I'm not a huge fan of American remakes of Japanese horror movies because they always change what makes the old ones good, in my opinion. I don't want to sound like an elitist and whatnot, but
No, they put too much Hollywood in it and go for the
yeah,
shock value rather than what's actually scary. So,
yeah.
uh,
Well, the thing I heard, I was reading an article on why we as Westerners find Japanese horror so scary, and we probably find it more scary than them. And the like, what it was trying to sum up was that it's because it's not what we're brought up with. Like they're told stories of witches with black hair that are vengeful spirits. We're not. We're told of murderers, which is why our horror movies are like Friday 13th and your Jason Voorhees. But it's
mhm.
such a culture shock to us, and obviously fear comes from the unknown and things that are strange to us. So the fact that it's not our culture adds like an added element of horror, and that's the interesting thing I heard about it. And obviously, when it's brought over, they change it to America. They Americanize it.
Yeah,
So, like I said, the stuff that made it very regional to them, that adds a that makes it different to our culture, adds to the horror, and they take that away. I don't know if it's all true, but that's what I read, and I thought it was an interesting little article.
no, it makes sense because if you grow up with something, you become desensitized to it.
Yeah,
So you don't have the desensitized factor brought in when it
yeah,
comes from other cultures.
like Indonesian horror as well. Like that's another type of one which is looks interesting.
What movie scares you the most?
I guess that would be the Ring, but not the Ring. Yeah, the Grudge and the Ring, because they're both the same thing, but they're both as scary as each other.
What was your favorite movie as a kid?
Ooh, straight up. Did you ever watch Robin Williams's Hook?
Yes.
So good. That was a like every kid had the one movie they watched over and over, and that one was mine. It was straight up like just a really good movie.
Which creepypasta would you like to see turned into a full length movie?
I think we had this one.
Not
Oh
turned
no, no,
into a
sorry,
full.
it's a full book. Sorry, I was thinking the
Yeah,
other question. A
yeah.
full length.
We've had book and porno. This is just movies.
Yeah, we did. Into a movie. See, that's
Mhm.
different. See, stretching out a book can be a heinous into writing, but a movie can easily be elongated with a fancy filmography shot. So I guess the Russian sleep experiment with added interesting backstory would make a good movie. Also, No End House. Although the pacing, I don't think would actually work well for a movie. If you know anything about movie pacing, like how it should differ, it could work depending on who's directing it. But that's another one that has potential.
What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show from I need to go back and watch it and see if it's as good as I remember. But Malcolm in the Middle, I absolutely loved that as a kid. Like I just lived off it. And it's so good. And I reckon it was too early for its time because it's not talked about anymore because the internet wasn't around to really perpetuate its infamy. But that's a good one. Also, Scrubs. I absolutely lived off that in my teens. And I started watching a Canadian one called Kenny versus Spenny. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's vile, but it's hilarious. It's basically two guys who live together that have do a competition, and it's sort of any rules goes, and whoever loses has to do a humiliation. And the plot's straightforward, but straight up one of them just keeps trying to cheat, and the other one keeps trying to winning through perseverance. But sometimes you question if he's being self-centered and just trying to be self-righteous. It's really good. Just it's all on YouTube for free as well. It's a Canadian show, and it never really broke out of Canada, but it's really good.
Who is your favorite Walking Dead character?
Glenn, straight up Glenn. I even got a little pop figure of him because he's the
Aw.
best. He is best. He's the most unexpected character. Everyone's like, "Oh, who should we send into the well to pull out the ravenous arm?" Glenn, you can do it. Ah, we need someone to run out and be distracted. Glenn, you're the fastest runner. Glenn, oh, it's magic. You're always. Ah, look, can you go get me some medicine from town? And he's like, ah, "Go on then." And he never pussyfoots around. He just straight up gets things done. Absolutely love me, my Glenn.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Ooh, I like a lot of superheroes. I've really been getting into comics. And although there's loads of like the lesser known ones and the more known ones I like, my favorite's very vanilla. It's Batman.
What superpower would you like to have?
I think one like a lot of people never think about what super like never think about the repercussions of a superpower they like to have. I reckon Wolverine's healing would be good because you just like his healing's really overpowered.
Oh, jeez, hush. Sorry about that.
That's fine, but yeah, his healing factor is like really overpowered. Like he straight up just can't die. But it's yeah, I think that'll be a nice one. Just live forever. Actually, that'd be awful. But no, get around.
Do you like Spider-Man?
Yeah, I like Spider-Man. I just don't like his movies, except for the Tobey Maguire ones, because I have a different taste of others, apparently. I think Spider-Man 3 is a classic national treasure. Anyone who disagrees with me is wrong. People who say it's bad have not. It's before. Okay, no, straight up. I've always been tempted to make a video on this, but it's just straight up ahead of its time. Like after Spider-Man 3, everyone's like, gotta make everything gritty. Batman gritty kind of worked. Superman gritty didn't work. Spider-Man gritty doesn't work. And now a lot of people are like, oh, I kind of miss the old comic book style. That's Spider-Man 3. It's campy and silly, and of course he makes friends with the villains, and of course there's plot twists, and of course he has emotional dramas. Of course he dances as an emo with dyed black hair. It's Spider-Man. He Okay, and here's another thing to attest to that. I made like a top 10 worst Batman villains, and you have to look past the main roster to find the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, his main roster of villains are awful. There's Rhino, a man who is a rhino. There's the Vulture, a man who's like a vulture. There's Dr. Octopus, a man who's like an... He's terrible! Spider-Man is actually a really campy series to begin with, and Spider-Man 3 is just straight up, it's got a good comic book heart.
What is your favorite video game?
Oh, what is my favorite video game? I haven't played too many lately. The latest one that I've really been mincing has been Batman Arkham City. Like I can finish that game in like 4 hours now, even though it's meant to take like 12.
Who is your favorite video game character?
Oh, game character.
I'm sorry. Who's your favorite video game character to play as?
I don't want to pick Batman 3 times in a row.
Go ahead.
But I can't think of any other game. I can open my Steam playlist, I guess. But oh no, Snake, Solid Snake, straight up, super fun. I absolutely love Metal Gear Solid.
Nintendo, Xbox, or Sony?
I used to be Xbox, but I'm leaning towards Sony. But I actually have none of them of the current ones. I've moved to the PC master race.
What is your favorite board game?
My favorite board game lately, it's kind of technically a board game. I've been playing Talisman with Mr. CreepsMcPasta and a few friends. It's hilarious. Each game takes about 4 or 5 hours, and it's heart-grueling at times. But it's basically like Dungeons and Dragons in a nutshell. It's it's about picking a fantasy character. You have to build up, and you have to do a quest. You can screw everyone over, or you can work with them. It's really fun to play with friends. I guess all board games are like that. You can't do it by yourself.
What is your favorite color?
I don't have a set favorite. I don't know. I'd say red, maybe. I've always liked red. I like a lot of colors. Purple's nice too.
What is your favorite number?
I don't really have a favorite. 4 and 6, maybe. Bad to pick 2.
Okay. What is your favorite letter of the alphabet?
S. So, do people have favorites?
Some people do.
Wow. Okay, I just S then. Is the first one that came to my head.
What is your favorite word?
Moist, because everyone hates it.
It's so fun to say, though.
It is, but like it's so polarized. People either love it or hate it. Moist.
I think it's also the context that it's used into.
Yeah, true. Moist.
Do you cook? And if so, how often do you burn your food?
I can cook. I don't tend to cook too often. If you want to see my cooking, just follow my Instagram. I always post pictures. I occasionally post pictures there. No, yeah, I like cooking pancakes and ramen. I straight up cook those very well. I don't really burn my food. And even if I do, sometimes it's on purpose. I like a bit of burnt toast. Like, slightly burnt.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite food?
It depends who cooks it. I like chili con carne that my mom makes. She makes the best chili, and it's attested to by many people. I dare anyone to fight me.
Do you like bacon?
Yeah. I think most people like bacon. Obviously, vegetarians probably don't. But yeah, it's nice. It took me. I actually didn't like it when I was younger, but I've gotten into it.
Okay, I've got to ask: is there any major difference between the bacon in the UK and the bacon in the US?
Oh yes, you have bacon rashers. We have bacon. No, you have bacon strips. We have bacon rashers. Our one looks like a teardrop. It's got like a big wide bit and then a little fatty section that hangs off as the pointy bit of the tear. And you guys have like those weird rectangle strips, which is just fat and a bit of meat on the sides. Actually, completely different. Tastes similar. I think our one's been akin to Canadian bacon, but I think their ones are more ham. But I like our one. I like them both, actually.
What is your favorite dessert?
Ice cream. I think yeah, or brownies with ice cream if I want to cheat and pick two. But you can put them with each other.
That's kind of funny because the next two questions are actually about ice cream. Okay, what is your favorite? What is your favorite ice cream?
Oh my! I have to be very boring and pick chocolate. It's all reliable.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
What are your favorite ice cream toppings?
I don't really like putting toppings on. I guess little things. I don't know. Little bits of chocolate. Have I lost you again? Oh, you're back.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, is
Yes,
everything okay?
I'm back.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I was like, am I gonna have to monologue again?
Yes, no, not again. Okay. So I didn't catch if you actually answered the question.
Oh, yeah. What's my favorite topping? I don't really have a favorite topping. I don't put toppings on my ice cream, really.
What is your favorite holiday?
Christmas. Yeah, I'm a Christmas. Like Halloween isn't very celebrated over here. Easter's a bit of a small. Yeah, Christmas is nice. It brings the family together. Yeah.
What is your favorite type of weather?
I like cloud when it's cloudy and cool. I hate the heat. And I like the rain if I'm indoors because it's nice to watch.
What is your favorite thing you own?
Favorite thing I own. I'm not very materialistic. I don't really have like set things I buy and then admire forever.
Something from your childhood, maybe, or something that somebody gave you?
Again, I don't know. I tend to think of gifts as a gift, but I mean, I treasure things when I get them, but the fact that nothing's come to mind now kind of speaks volumes. I guess my computer then, the one in front of me, the old reliable computer, which has kept me going online.
What is your favorite thing to do when nobody is looking?
Straight up pick my nose. It's so satisfying.
What is your opinion on squids?
I love squids, or I like eating them. Like people are like, oh, they don't like eating the tentacles because it's all like like they have the knobbly bits and the weird suckers that's dried up into little dots. I don't mind. I'll straight up eat a whole squid. Just take out the little beak bit in the middle. It's fine. It's really nice. Squid tastes lovely.
If you could transform into any animal, which one would it be?
I don't want to transform into an animal. Cat maybe. If I could transform back, anyway, it would be a cat. Cats aren't treated too well for some reason.
Do you have any pets?
No, but I want some.
What would you like to have?
I've been looking at some adoption center cats, but I don't think I can handle like the noise. I'm very audio conscious. Like, you know, a lot of what I do relies on things being quiet, which is why this interview's been delayed for so long, because I've been waiting for quiet house time. So no, I don't think I can ever have one, but cats would be a nice one to have.
Have you ever owned a pet rock?
I don't think I have. I never a pet one. I've kept a rock, you know, from the beach. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I made it my pet.
Do you believe in aliens?
Aliens. Oh, it's a bit weird because I like that famous quote about aliens. It's like either we're alone in the universe or something's out there, and either one is terrifying. So the odds are there is something out there, but I just don't think they are what people make them out to be. Like little things that come down to Earth just to troll us, basically. Like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna beam a light here, lol. But no, it's straight up. They're probably like us, you know, stuck on their planet.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Ah, that's another one which people think I do, but I'm on the fence. Like, I'm not 100% dismissing them, but I've seen no reason to believe in them. Like, you know, I keep reading personal accounts on little story rounds up or stories themselves of people giving their testaments, and a lot of the time, like, I always think, I bet it's this, or I bet it's that. It's probably not a ghost. Like straight up, Matt once came in my room and he was reading something scary, so I was like, oh, I'm not scared to go back to his little office area around the corner because he comes here to work to help me work, and then we just heard this noise like a metal reverberating. There was no, I've never heard that noise in my life. No reason we should ever have heard it, and he was terrified. I was like, it was just a noise.
Mhm.
A lot of people, I feel like someone would have attributed it to a ghost, but again, I don't want to say never, but at the same time, I've seen no reason to believe in them yet.
Do you believe there will be a zombie apocalypse?
No, I used to when I was younger. I think every kid did because of all the zombie stuff, but it's so unlikely. The more you learn about biology, the more you learn about viruses, the more you learn about diseases, fungi through life, you know, the more you realize it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
That's another funny one, which you always hear like scrawny nerdy kids are like, I'm gonna survive the apocalypse. I know where to go. I have a plan. And I think the best testament to this is Matt again, you know, Audionic. He went to a thing called 28 Hours Later. Do you know anything? Have you ever heard of those zombie events?
Yeah.
Like, straight up, him and his friends who, you know, they aren't just computer nerds. Like, these guys are like, you know, your average capable human beings. And they had to literally go from like one end of town to another with actor zombies that were like based on sound. And it was terrifying. The stories he tells me, like they were in a warehouse and everything was pitch black, and this guy comes around the corner bitten, and he's holding his arm. He's like, "Oh, I've been bit. I did a silly mistake." And then like they have this romantic thing. It's all part of this story. And he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy you some time. Uh, I'm sorry." And then he runs off with the woman crying. Straight up, loads of zombies start running on him, and they have to sneak past him. And he came back with so many of these stories. I'm like, if you couldn't survive this, I've got no hope, and I find myself quite capable. Like, what's the other one? Another one. There was a guy with no legs saying like, help me! I need help." And then they could have helped him, but then these zombies just storm him, and then they use them as a distraction. But they felt awful afterwards, even though it's all fake. It's like blows my mind how you never realize how scary zombies can be until you start hearing these like real life stories. Even though obviously, like I said, zombies aren't real, but oh my gosh, these if you ever had the chance, like they do sound fun to go to.
Do
But I don't
clowns?
think I'd survive. Sorry, just answer the question just to bring things back.
No, it's interesting stories. It sounds like a
Yeah,
lot of fun to do.
it does sound like a lot of fun.
Do clowns scare you?
No, I don't know why people are so scared of clowns. They look like
Stephen
lovely.
King's it, the movie.
Oh, the movie. I
I
was going to say, it's a good thing you clarified the movie because I've heard stuff about the book and it sounds terrible.
I personally don't have a fear of clowns, but the majority of people who actually have a fear of clowns admit that it does stem from the movie It.
Really. See,
Hmm.
I've never really seen anything from it. I mean, I saw a review of the movie and it was just slating how bad it was. And I was like, okay, this looks terrible. So maybe that's why I'm not scared of clowns.
Do mirrors scare you?
No, they hold the most beautiful person in the world. One day he'll be free.
That's a scary thought.
Uh,
Do you remember your dreams?
no, I feel terrible because I wish I could. Like everyone always has amazing dream stories, and I never do.
Um, well, since the next two questions are, do you ever dream about your childhood and do you ever have nightmares? I guess we know the answer to those.
Oh, no, I think I do have nightmares. I just don't really remember them. But strangely enough, when I do have a nightmare, it's about zombies, usually. They're not real, I swear. Okay, I will tell. Okay, I will tell a story because I did actually remember a dream. I don't know if it's this morning. No, yesterday morning, or this morning actually maybe. But okay, bear in mind, I never have trippy dreams. I never have really weird dreams. They tend to be quite grounded or sometimes surreal, but never weird. But I had a dream that I was Batman and my dad was Heihachi from Tekken, and I went in to sacrifice myself trying to fight Heihachi to save Furiosa from the new Mad Max movie. And my hands inside my gloves weren't real, so when my gloves fell off, I had nothing. I was like, "Oh, this sucks." I have no idea where that dream came from. I've never had anything like it, but oh my gosh, I can't even. I'm like Starbucks white girl right now. I'm just wow, just I don't know.
Okay, so you actually do remember your dreams.
No, one of them. Yeah, well, I forget 99% of them. There is occasionally the one or two that slip by that net.
Okay. Well, in that case, are there any that you remember about your childhood?
No, I never really dream about my childhood. I don't remember my childhood. I'm very weird with memory. Like I don't remember much about my past. I forget things so easily.
Do you prefer day or night?
I depends what I want to do. Obviously, if shops aren't open at night, but I don't know. I'd say night. I'm awake right now, 3 a.m. I woke up at 8 in the evening because I go to bed now 12 midday because I stay up all night because it's the quietest time in my house to do stuff. So I'd say night.
Do you prefer sunrises or sunsets?
Sun rises because sunsets just leave you in the dark. That's weird, you know. It's like, well, now that that's over, I have to navigate darkness. No, sunrises seem nice.
Would you rather be rich or poor?
Rich. Straight up rich. You know what? That's another thing that's a. I don't know. I don't want to ramble on with a tangent, but I remember listening to some of those like help talks that are like make $1 million through in 1,000 days kind of thing. And it was one of the talks that stemmed off that, and one of the things he said before getting into some of the meatier details, he was like, "Okay, straight up, right now, what do you think when you think of rich person?" He pauses, and he goes, "Did you think of someone who's unhappy? If you did, that's holding you back. Because a lot of the time, people who are rich aren't really unhappy. It's like, I don't know, I don't want to sound like really conspiratorial now, but a lot of people say like it's a made up thing to keep people from trying to become rich as a strange, very meta thing. But once you get past that mentality, it's like, no, I'd love to be rich. Why wouldn't I? We get to live easy then.
Do you prefer boxers or briefs?
Boxes. Yeah, boxes.
Have you ever TP'd or egged a house?
No, I don't think. I don't know. I think I threw an egg. I don't think I've egged a house. I think I've thrown an egg. Everyone's thrown an egg. It's funny when they splat. But I don't think I've never TP'd or egged a house. I don't think you TP houses over here. They're all like attached houses. So it wouldn't really work like you'll egg. You just end up TPing an entire neighborhood.
What happens when you get scared half to death twice?
You would be a quarter alive. That's how fractions work. I feel like the person who asked that didn't think that through.
Which ritual pasta would you actually be willing to do?
Oh, if they were real, I'm guessing. Because obviously, if I drive around trying to do 11 miles, I'm just going to crash into a tree.
Well, so a lot of people, even though they know it's just a creepypasta, are actually too scared to try a ritual pasta. Like, they're always like, well, just in case.
Just in case,
So,
yeah.
would you be willing to actually try out some ritual pastas?
I'll do any of them. I'm very, like, I okay, I'm going to tangent right now on something else because a lot of stories are like I'm grounded in reality character. I don't believe in this, but this scary thing started to happen to me, and people are like, "Oh, it's such an unrealistic character. No one's like that," and I'm like, "I'm like that." I don't think anything bad will happen. I'll drive around doing 11 miles if I wanted. I'll do Charlie Charlie. I'll do Bloody Mary. I'll do whatever. I'll do the Salvation one. I'll do the safe. I'll do any of them, because I know nothing will happen. I'm so sure of myself. But I'm willing to do any of them, I guess. But if any of them were real, and I knew they were real, I guess 11 miles would be good. I feel like I'm quite good at keeping composure when I want to.
If you were suddenly female, what is the first thing you would do?
Suddenly, would I be able to turn back, or is it permanent?
That was the question.
I feel so many people could say so many illicit things about this, but I'd straight up go shopping. I love shopping. I go shopping with girls, and it's lovely. I go bra shopping for my girlfriends. I absolutely love it. And they have so many accessories. Girls do. It's amazing. I want a red scarf that complements my belt. Sure. I want a hat that also has a feather in it. They get to wear so much cool stuff that boys are like, nah, it's just jeans, t-shirt, and hoodie or whatever. It's like this. It's almost a uniform, just bland. Girls get to wear so much.
If the pen is mightier than the sword, why do actions speak louder than words?
Wait, if the pen is mightier than the sword, why do actions speak louder than words? I know. They're both referring to different things. The pen is mightier than the sword is implying a what's it called? A discrepancy between two people. Is better to talk things out or better to do things diplomatically than attack the other and cause eternal conflict. But actions speak louder than words because doing nothing or like sitting behind your computer rather than, I don't know, rallying on the streets, you know which one's more effective, which one gets seen more. Although, I don't know, actually. The computer tends to be seen more now. It's a very dated phrase, I'd say.
If you could have one wish, what would it be?
To have more wishes. If
What
I
do
had
you
to,
want? Oh, sorry.
no, I'm trying to think of a serious one because I feel like it's a cop out answer. If I could have one wish, I, I'd wish to be the luckiest person in the world. Yeah. If I want to flick a coin to a jukebox like they do in Smooth Criminal, bang, straight in there.
What do you want for your birthday?
Nothing. I think I got one gift for my last birthday. Don't think I got anything for my 18th. I don't really ask for anything. I don't really want it. I'm not, again, I'm not really a materialistic person.
If you won $1 million, what would you buy?
Uh, dollars. It's like what, £660,000? Damn, your weaker currency. If I won, if I won that in America, it would get taxed. That's a weird thing. Your lottery is taxed. It's classed as earnings. Over here, gambling isn't taxed. How weird's
Okay.
that?
Well, if it was translated to the equivalent of pounds, where it was a large amount, what would you buy?
If I had, yeah, if I had £660,000, I'd straight up buy like 4 or 5 houses and rent them out. And that's it. That's my wage for the rest of my life. Sorted. Investments done. Yeah, that's such a boring answer, isn't it? I mean, I would spend stuff on fun, but I'm so future conscious, I guess. Like, all I think about is like, oh crap, what am I going to do for the future? I need to be future proof.
What makes you happy?
A lot of things. I don't know. I feel like a lot of things make me happy. I try to be happy over the little things. I try to appreciate a lot. Uh, what does make me happy? Anything really. Anything that makes me happy is something that makes me happy. I don't know, eating nice food, playing a game. Narrations, obviously, everything on YouTube I do, which is why I put so much time into it. Yeah, very vague answer, but there you go.
What embarrasses you?
Uh, I feel. Hmm. I try not to get embarrassed, really. I feel like getting embarrassed is a very looking back kind of thing. I've always tried to teach myself not to look back. I mean, there's a few things, I guess. Like if I leave a story, like a mistake in a story, I'm like, oh no, but I get over things pretty quick.
Are you ticklish?
Ah, yes. And I hate it.
Do you lie?
No. Terrible.
What is the meaning of life?
I think everyone has to make their own meaning for life. My one that I made for myself is to live life to be the most happiest. So to do what I find fun, but also find fun in doing stuff for others. Therefore, you don't create a selfish atmosphere. And it's working pretty well so far. Try to be nice, try to give, but also receive from the giving. Yeah, and it works out.
Will you tell me something about yourself I wouldn't think to ask about?
Oh, something that I haven't been asked.
Just the average person wouldn't think to ask about.
Average for that. Yeah, because I always get like the common questions like, draw your face. That's not even the question, is it? What's your name? What's something that someone never asks me? Because a lot of the stuff that I'm willing to give tends to be the things that are already asked, I guess. I'll have to leave that one blank for now. I actually can't think of anything.
Okay. Will you narrate your search history for us?
My search history is clean. It's just a lot of research and a lot of YouTube videos.
And we are actually on the final question.
Yeah.
What is a fun fact about yourself?
Fun fact. I don't drink too much alcohol, but I do like buying mead from fancy places. Like when I went to Stonehenge, there was Stonehenge mead. And if you go to like the Shakespeare shop, like the Globe shop in where is it now? In Stratford. They sell mead. And when I went to America, there was a guy who sold mead, so I was like, straight up, get some mead. Yeah. I went to a Renaissance festival with Mr. CreepsMcPasta and some friends, and he bought me some mead, and it was really nice. It's just a very sweet drink.
Well, since that is it for the questions, is there anything you would like to say before we wrap this up?
Believe in yourself. Live life to the fullest. Don't be a dreamer. No, yeah, that. Oh my gosh, that's going to lead me to a tangent without even the question. That's a question I'm going to ask myself. Like going back, like because that's something that bugs me in people like who say to dream big. No, don't dream big. Do big. Dreaming is what the people who sit there and imagine themselves being somewhere. Doing is what gets you there. There you go. That's the worst motivation speech ever. If you want a real motivation speech, watch all 6 Rocky movies. There you go. That's my recommendation. Watch them all in a row. You watch Sylvester Stallone aged 35 years in 2 days. It's amazing.
Well, to anyone who has not already, make sure to go check out Creeps' channel and, well, both of his channels, as well as his Twitter and stuff. And thank you very, very much for allowing me to do this interview and joining us today.
Oh, thank you.
And I guess that is it for now. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.